Hey, everybody, we'll start in just a minute. Just give another minute or so for some more people to join. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Product Workstream office hours. We'll get started in just a moment. Can somebody please give me permission to share in the Zoom meeting, the screen share?
Worst case, I can make a new Zoom, but let's see who created it. Miss, are you available to?
We got it. We're good.
All right.
Thank you. Cool. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Tell me if you can't see that, but I'm assuming you can because there's a big green highlight around it. Cool. So welcome everybody to the Product Workstream office hours. I've posted here our agenda. Basically, this meeting is designed to go over the roadmap, to go over what's next, to go over what's been done, to show you guys some of the stuff that the workstream is working on. And then at the end, to allow time for community feedback or some question and answers. And also, we welcome anybody to come and bring forward their ideas that they may have. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The first thing is the roadmap review. So I'm going to bring this forward. So this is the roadmap you guys have seen. In the effort of being agile, it moves a little bit. Sometimes some new ideas or features get brought forward that weren't originally on the roadmap for various reasons. And one of the things that I wanted to point out is this is accessible to everybody on Notion. And then everything that has been completed is moved down to the bottom with 100% next to it. As you guys know, we just launched Alpha with Yearn integration. That was a big project that a lot of us were pretty razor focused on for a while. And now we're just working on fine-tuning that from a product side and tackling some like UX, UI updates. And also there's a bug board. And then I know engineering is going to be doing some more stuff on in the background, like refactoring some stuff and tackling some tech debt that that they need to tackle that they weren't able to get to because of the deadline for the bounty. So on the roadmap, a couple things I wanted to point out. We had a sync up yesterday with the engineering managers, and we're actually going to be pulling some stuff off of this into an engineering roadmap. So some of the things like refactor of 0x into swapper layer from a product side, these are a bit technical, and we actually think that it would make more sense for engineering to have a roadmap that they that they track. And then on the roadmap that we're presenting here, it'll be more a product-focused roadmap. That said, we're also looking at strategizing how we're prioritizing these going forward, and we'll probably be doing a community presentation around this going forward. But we wanted to start looking at larger, concepts, and then breaking them down into the pieces that kind of fit, or larger strategies, and then the pieces that fit into those strategies. So for example, one of our strategies going forward will be, how do we sunset beta.shapeshift.com? A big part of doing that is reaching parity with the new alpha website. So identifying what those features are to reach parity, and identifying any pieces on the engineering side that need to happen in the back end so that we could successfully sunset beta. That's just one example of a strategy. So we're going to kind of start changing how we present this, but that's something that we're working on. So I just wanted to point that out. So a couple of things though, in the meantime, we are still moving forward stuff on the product side. So I'll highlight some of those things here. So fiat on-ramp, off-ramp into alpha. So on Juno, as you guys know, that proposal passed. That's something where actually we spoke with the on Juno product owner today, getting some additional information that we need in order to get that integration going. And then also the gem integration, since they agreed to do a rev share model, that would also be an integration we can easily do on alpha. And then another big piece that we'd like to do, because right now we have beta, we have alpha, and then we have on the .com, where we have farming and some of those other components that live on .com. We want to bring those into the alpha ecosystem so that we're not maintaining like 3 different areas. So that piece actually should be a relatively easy lift. So we're just going to work on some UX UI for that, and then bring that over into alpha. And then, of course, Tokamak with the reactor going online soon, we'd like to bring that in and make it a native experience on alpha. So these are some of the pieces coming up that we're working on. And then providing liquidity is something we'd like to do as well. Right now, when you're on the .com and you go to farm your Fox ETH liquidity, if you go to provide Fox ETH liquidity, we push the user into Uniswap, and then there they provide liquidity, and then they come back, and then they farm, then they stake their LP tokens. We'd like to make that a native experience on alpha, and not just for Fox ETH, but for other liquidity pools as well. So we're going to start tackling the UX and design for that. And those are the biggest pieces coming up for the work stream. And then there's a lot of other stuff down here. Like you guys know, Osmo is underway. That's a bounty-based project. The UX UI, I will go over the additional pieces we just added on mobile for bonding liquidity tokens. And then we're also going to go over today a little bit of the stuff we've done for .com. And then I think Beard is going to demo for us. The new alpha website works extremely well on your mobile phone. I don't know if anybody has tried it, but it's pretty awesome. So Beard is going to give us a demo of that. It almost feels like a native app experience. Let me just check the stage. Sorry, I just chatted a lot. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. If anybody has any questions, please post them on the stage. But I think everybody's pretty much aware of all of the stuff that we've been doing up until this bounty deadline. So I just wanted to highlight those pieces that we're going to be focusing on next. And another thing I should talk about too is this display all DeFi positions across multiple protocols. This is a big UX lift, and we want to figure out how to do it and make it an awesome experience. So while this is further down on the roadmap, we've already started brainstorming and having conversations and doing some discovery around what that could look like. And that's if we're going to be this massive DeFi aggregator, we want to make that UX as awesome as possible so that we can be the best place for users to access all of these different DeFi protocols. So that is it's going to be a bit of a UX challenge, which we're excited about, but definitely something we've started on early, much earlier than we would on other projects, for example. Okay, cool. So one other thing I wanted to go over here was this, what we call it design QA. it's like design quality assurance, but essentially this is us tackling like smaller UX or UI issues or improvements that could be made in the web app. So some of the issues or some of the things that we want to improve on are just copy changes. So we have a list of those. And those are obviously very straightforward to get to. And then just some other things that we want to tackle that we find or that come in as reported from the community. So we put those in like this, they're in the not started column, and then things in progress, and then things that are completed. So these are actually, most of these things are things that Beard tackles because they're all front end focused and they don't need engineering tickets. So I just an example of one. This one's actually a good example of Firefox. So when you first come to the new web app, there's a landing screen that tells you to connect wallet, and there's an animation there. That animation actually is an animated SVG. Firefox doesn't like it. It makes the very first moment of that user experience extremely sluggish. So we want to make a PNG or a static backup so that if it loads on Firefox, it doesn't make the experience sluggish. So these are just the type of things that we tackle when we do design QA. Let me just see if there's any. Yes, Mogi, the Notion should be viewable to everybody. If it's not, I will double check and make sure that it's publicly accessible. But yeah, all of this stuff, hopefully it's publicly accessible. Let me see. Yeah, this is publicly accessible. Anybody with the link can view, share to the web. So yeah, all of these, and maybe there's a place, maybe we can post the links to these somewhere easily so that people can just quickly find them. But if anybody is in our Notion, where all this stuff lives is in the product and UX design section, and you can like dive into product or UX and design, and you can get into all of these things and into our product specs and whatever else you need. Everything is housed in there. Cool. All right. Are there any other questions popping up in stage? Cool. All right. So next I want to go over the designs for the Osmo bonding on mobile. So I'm going to stop this screen share and then start a different screen share. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see that. Tell me if you can't. Cool. So, whoops. One thing I should just quickly go over so that people have some context if they haven't seen this before. So the flow above here is where users go to provide liquidity. Essentially, they pick the amount of Osmo and Atom to provide into the liquidity pool. Remove. Let me go to add. So we showed this, I think, last week or the week before. But essentially, they pick the amount of Osmo and Atom to provide into this pool. And then once they have the Osmo Atom liquidity provided, they can bond. So we're thinking that maybe there could be two potential entrances. So in the mobile app, there'll be this opportunities tab. So in this case, if they have provided liquidity, they would see this bonding opportunity with this like hot APR. Or if they're looking at their liquidity pool, we could have like this little call out right here that encourages them to bond it and highlights this APR. So kind of working through the exact designs of this, it might get tweaked a little bit just because we don't necessarily know what, I think at this time, which data we can get from osmosis. We might not be able to show how much is in the LP pool, but I think that's all being worked through right now. So they have their liquidity pool tokens. They can bond their liquidity. So bonding is really cool. The rewards are instantaneous. They're deposited directly into the user's wallet. The only thing with bonding, unlike farming, when you farm like your Fox ETH liquidity, with bonding, you actually, and this is, as far as I know, this is unique to osmosis, but somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But you pick your unbonding time. So based on the unbonding time, you earn a different APR. So for example, if you want to be able to unbond you want to put bonding and then you want to be able to unbond in 1 day, be able to unlock it back in 1 day, your APR is going to be lower than if you picked 14 days, for example. I don't know why this looks like that, but there should be a dot here, not a. So anyway, but essentially the APRs go higher as you pick a longer unbonding time. And then so the user would pick their unbonding time, and then we'd estimate their yearly returns based on the amount that they pick to bond. And so pretty straightforward flow. And then they just confirm on this screen. It just reminds them of the bonding time. And then it just lets them know that the rewards are not subject to unbonding. The rewards are deposited directly into their wallet. And then just pending screens. Then once they have, so in this case, let's say they have bonded Osmo Atom here. They see their APR, the value of that, and then the unbonding time. So one of the things we wanted to do is, because liquidity pools and bonding are so closely tied together, is have a detailed overview where the user could see both. So if they came into this screen, they would see their liquidity pool. And this is very, very similar to what we have for the farming, for Fox ETH farming. So you'd see your liquidity pool, the return amount, the total, and then the bonding, the return amount, and then just this extra line that, again, reminds the user that they have this unbonding time. So if they went into their bonding, they would be able to bond additional or unbond if they wanted to unbond. Again, the reminder that it's 14 days to unbond. Gas fees on Osmo are amazing. And unlike ETH, they're like sometimes nothing. And then they slide to confirm. It begins their unbonding, and then they would see here in their primary wallet that they have this unbonding amount, and the days would count down. So, in a few days, they would see that the days change, so that they would know exactly when that unbonding, those LP tokens are going to become available. So this is what we have right now for unbonding. Again, very, very similar to what we did for the Fox farming. Let me just check and see if there's any more questions. Yes, I agree, Willie. We do need to make the Notion stuff easier to find. Maybe we can have like a master place where like links are, because there's just so much stuff in Notion. Maybe there's a way we can make like a hub where it's like, here's the most important links that people might need access to, or something like that.
Totally, yeah. We've got a lot of good stuff in there, and it's somewhat organized, but we have been chatting with marketing and growth Workstream too. I think they're interested in also helping to like add a bunch of the other great content that we have, like things like our vision and our mission, and just other good, valuable content that we do have that's not yet in there. Getting it in there, making it more organized, and then working with product Workstream to get it all into the .com, so that it's like super easy and easily accessible from anyone in the community who wants to look into this type of stuff. So I'm really excited about that, because we have all this great content, and Notion's a powerful tool. So things like job and bounties, Notion's a perfect tool for Workstream leaders to be able to really easily publish those, and then we can have it accessible all from the .com. It will be sweet, and we can put the Notion on ShapeShift.com/DAO/ or whatever we want to do there.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So I am going to hand it over to Beard. He is going to give us an awesome demo of the new alpha website on mobile. Also, we're going to talk about too how you can submit feedback if you're an alpha user, and we are very open and receptive and excited for feedback from the community. So Beard can show you guys how we're planning to integrate that directly into the new alpha app. Thanks.
Looks like I need permission to screen share. Whoever's the host. Por favor.
This is
Piggy, you have to do it.
I have to give permission?
I guess so.
Okay. Yep. There you go. Sorry, guys.
All right. Cool. All right. Cool. So, I don't know if most of you have checked it or played with it or not, but the mobile app it works really well. I mean, the mobile app, the new web platform works really well on your mobile phone, and we do have some like rudimentary support for PWA, which is a progressive web app. So I was just going to show that a little bit. So if you've never done that before, it's pretty easy on iOS at least. You hit the little share icon at the bottom, and then you hit add to home screen. And you can see we have like a fancy icon for it. So now it becomes an app in your actual menu. And then now I'm going to connect a wallet. And it opens up Portis. I'm going to not dox myself. No offense. All right. Cool. So now I'm connected to my Portis wallet. You can see it looks like very similar to like a native app. So you have your menu bar at the bottom. You have all the stacked components. You have your balances. You can toggle between dark mode and light mode. You can switch wallet providers, just like you do in the web app. Everything looks and works pretty dang good. You can send, receive, all the same stuff you do. And then we also have the new version of the app, so you can reload the app. I think it'll kick me out, but that's fine. So anyways, we have some pretty good support so far for mobile. There's still some things we need to do. Like one thing is a splash screen. I'd love to do a splash screen, but iOS, you have to generate basically a size for every single screen size that's ever been in existence for iPhone. So that's something I want to add shortly. And then there's just some small things like when you're scrolling across this, your thumb does get in the way. So there's just small tweaks we need to make, but overall it works really well. And it could be a good replacement for a native app eventually. That's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions?
Beard, can you show us how you're planning to do the feedback link?
Oh, yeah. So I don't have it on this version, but in this menu here, it will be above dark mode, submit feedback, and that'll link you out to the form to submit feedback, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be directly integrated into that right drop-down menu, and it's a very simple form. You just write your feedback or ideas, and then if you want to include your Discord handle in case we want to follow up with you for some more details. But yeah, we've tried to make it as simple as possible so that we can get as much community participation as possible.
Yeah. So what's really cool is that if you do this as PWA app and you add it to your phone, then basically any new features, obviously we create or add to web, and you'll get those in this new PWA app. All the wallet functions except for hardware wallets will work. It's pretty awesome. Very excited about it. Pretty much it.
Cool. Thank you, Beard.
Yep.
Cool. Next up, Huff. Can you jump on stage or do I need to invite you? He's going to show some of the stuff he's been working on for .com. There's a new buy sell crypto page he's working on that has filtering and stuff. And then he's working on a template for, I think, the marketing team so that they'll be able to upload their newsletters onto .com by themselves. There he is. Cool. Thanks, Huff. Take it away.
All right. Can you guys hear me? All right, I'm just trying to log in everything real quick. Give me 1 second. You guys have any questions for Beard or anything? Let's ask him now. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating like a contributor section in Webflow. So, but for whatever, I'm having issues getting the login stream going. So you don't have to be like a developer to get a Webflow. You go to like ShapeShift. It'll be like shapeshift.com login, and there's permissions we can give to contributors. So I know there's been a lot of like newsletters being posted. So creating a section where someone can just kind of easily log into the CMS and upload a newsletter and paste and copy content on like this CMS system. So
Are you able to share on the
yeah,
Zoom?
I'll be able to
Okay.
share the login with the authenticator. So let's see 1 second. Cool. All right.
So secure. Authenticator for Zoom, huh?
No, that's just me logging on my stuff. Let's see if I can share my screen. I should be able to. I don't want to share.
It's in Zoom.
Oh, we're doing the Zoom thing. I'm not in the Zoom. Sorry. I'm a little late. Let me do that. Sorry. 1 second. Is the Zoom link in the stage chat?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So on Webflow, when you're kind of logged in, there's I'm building this section where it's just showing the designer section because for whatever reason the login page isn't working. It's usually Murphy's Law when you're trying to do a demo. But there's this editor section up here. So when you're an editor, there we go. Hey. So you can go to these different pages and there's this newsletter section. So this is where you'll be able to kind of upload newsletters. There's none in here right now. And you can add a newsletter and you basically Craig can upload, you can save as draft. And then I'll basically pop it in. Oops. When you're in ShapeShift, we have this library under blog research. So we'll have a link here that'll say newsletters. And then when you go there, there'll be ShapeShift library and there'll be a option says newsletter here. If you click on it, you'll get these like tiles and you can click in there and the newsletter will be there. So it's just kind of rebuilding kind of what we already did in the past. But the cool thing is that the people that they don't have to have any like back-end devs. And when you're in the login section, if you see it down here, this is where the contributor can access everything. It's all built. Yeah, there'll be this little edit site. And it's all kind of built in there. So there's no like weird back-end stuff. Just kind of go in here and add these, and you can go on pages and collections. So we have like someone wants to add a testimonial. You can add a new testimonial. You just can paste content in there, add a name and a slug. The slug would be basically URL. So you'd have to do whatever the name is, it will automatically add it to the slug. You can copy paste that content. You don't really need that section. Then you hit create. So I'll just do a test real quick and then delete it. But so stage to publish. You can go in here, look at it. If you hit save, I'll just save the draft. And then if you hit publish, I can publish that. I know this isn't very UI exciting, but it's kind of cool where people can contribute to the Webflow flight without having to ask me or a dev. So once it's under there, it should be able to, sorry, we got to learn. It's being weird, still publishing, it's taking a while. All right, so we go here. I won't show the testimonials actually, because I actually moved that section up here. So I should have just done like the Bitcoin thing. But yeah, it'd be basically one of these tiles. And you click on it. It says who wrote the article or whatever, and based off who's ever the contributor. And it just all exists like that. And you can add some custom code if you want to add images and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of that. Working on a new by crypto page so I can share real quick. It's almost done, but it's still kind of in code, but there you go. So we'll have this filtering system with supported assets. We'll kind of pop up here. We'll have our trusted partners. This little tile, you can filter, which partner you want to do, and it'll kind of have the available ones. And still kind of working on we're using a CoinGecko API to kind of aggregate all the assets, and I'm playing with that API in Webflow right now. It's kind of weird. It's a little janky, so it might not look as good as what you see here, but hopefully it will. Yeah, it's kind of what I got. Any questions or anything?
Well, I was just checking the stage chat. I don't see anything right now. Thank you, Hoff. You can stop sharing. I can take back over.
Yeah, so just to recap,
Oh,
basically created a simple CMS for anybody from the community. We can give, I think we have up to 10 people that can be contributors to Webflow, or can be editors. So Webflow, we have a few licenses for designers. The designers are the ones actually, where we can, like me and Beard or whatever, actually building stuff. But we have 10 licenses for editors if they want to post newsletters or blogs or stuff like that. They can do it, and that little CMS flow I just showed you is how you do it. So yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you, Hoff. Awesome. Well, we still have some time left, so I guess we can open it up to anybody in the community who wants to ask questions or come forward with ideas or just want to chat about something. Now is the time. Also, too, I think we're going to look at bringing POAPs back for the next office hours, so stay tuned for that. Cool.
I guess you did everything perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I see Adam in the audience. Thanks for joining, Adam. I know you guys are really busy in engineering, so I appreciate you taking the time. Cool. Well, if there are no other questions, then I guess we can end this week's office hours. We'll do it again in 2 weeks. And hopefully we'll have a lot more stuff to show you guys and a lot more stuff that we've got ready to go on the product side on the roadmap. Cool. Thanks, everybody. And for those of you who are in a country where there's Thanksgiving, enjoy your Thanksgiving.
And right now, the Elk Finance AMA is going on if anyone's interested in the Elk Finance DAO or their Discord. I know that's
Yes.
where Willie and John are if you're looking for something else to do.
I did get one message from Bailey asking if there's any POAPs for this meeting in the future. There will be, but there isn't.
Yeah, not this time, but hopefully on the next one, we should have the POAPs back.
Look.
Thanks, everybody.
Cool.
Thanks.